Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. This afternoon with me, I have a very special person who knows more about celiac disease than I do. Quite frankly, I don't have any dietary diseases or dietary restrictions, thank God, due to my hemiplegic cerebral palsy, but I know people on the autism spectrum, and I know people with celiac disease. So I'm going to be learning right along with you guys about what celiac disease is, and I'm going to bring on Amanda Moss, who wrote a cookbook about celiac disease. So without further ado, I'm going to let Amanda take it away.
Hi, nice to be with you today.
Nice to have you, and please explain to my listeners more about celiac disease and what led you to write or do the cookbook.
Okay, well, celiac is an autoimmune disease, and studies show that there's a ton of people that actually have it and don't know they have it. They think they have irritable bowel syndrome or some other kind of stomach disorders, which a lot of times, because of mainly the gluten that we eat today, the wheat, has been so genetically modified, it's stronger in gluten. So that is why more and more people are starting to come down with celiac and other gluten sensitivities. So basically, I was diagnosed about 14 years ago, I believe, or longer. And before that, it took, I probably suffered the symptoms for about a year before they diagnosed it. And then basically, I've had to learn to cook differently, and luckily I enjoy cooking because back when I was diagnosed, there really wasn't that much information on gluten-free. So through a lot of tears, and I went through like a small depression because I was just frustrated. And I've developed many recipes and tweaked many regular recipes to be gluten-free. So I just decided that to help others that need to cook for a whole family, they will be able to cook foods that taste really good, that the whole family can enjoy, but also accommodates for the one or two people in their family that have to eat gluten-free.
It's interesting because I interviewed Emma Vicino, who's a voiceover actress out in LA, and she also has celiac disease, and she also wrote a cookbook called Eat Happy because she felt the same way you did, Amanda Moss, about how without gluten, things don't taste yummy.
Right.
So
exactly.
You are tweaking normal recipes to make them healthier for all the rest of us who even may not have celiac disease.
Correct. They taste really good. I mean, my family is not gluten sensitive, or they do not have celiac, and they love them. And other family members who have tried my food, they would never know it was gluten free. That's the key, is to learn how to cook like that, where you really don't feel like you're missing out, and others don't feel like they're sacrificing to accommodate that one person.
So, okay. So that's the key, to really look at your food as not as a special diet, but just tweak it a little bit as to make it good for you and your body, but also make it good for the people around you.
Exactly.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to ask you your favorite child question about this cookbook. what is your favorite recipe in the cookbook?
Oh, wow. I love all of them, but I would have to say the potato soup recipe is the best. It's my family's favorite, and it's probably one of the best.
Oh my God, potato soup. Now I admit this to my fans, even though I don't have any allergies to food whatsoever, or any dietary restrictions, I only started eating potatoes, was it 2 years ago? And so I need to try that potato soup recipe. I need to get your cookbook, because the key with diet is you need to make things yummy, as we said. So why do you like this potato soup recipe as, to say, it's your favorite recipe in the book?
Well, I'm not sure if you've had other potato soups, but a lot of times they're kind of bland, and this particular potato soup, the base is actually chicken broth, so it has a lot of flavor, and then you saute the vegetables in butter before you put them in the soup, so just the little extras, and it's actually really easy. It's not a ton of work. I mean, the longest part is peeling the potatoes, but pretty much once you get that done, it only takes about 25 minutes to make the potato soup. It's delicious, and it's definitely one of my family's favorites, and it's one of those things that you can eat on for a couple of days. I always look forward to eating it for lunch the next day. It's just delicious.
And it doesn't take that long, and I apologize for all my listeners if they hear a phone that suddenly stops in the background. I apologize. My landline doesn't normally go off, but it's gone off twice since I've been interviewing Amanda, and I'm like about to hang up the landline and unplug it from the wall here because it's annoying. It's annoying. But to get back to Amanda's yummy potato soup recipe, so basically, do you put any spices with it, or would that just ruin your system?
Oh, yeah, definitely spices. Spices are the key.
Okay.
And then
so
in my book,
don't necessarily hurt your system.
No, definitely not. Spices in their raw form are naturally gluten-free.
Okay.
It's the blends, a lot of them that these companies make that have gluten in them. Some of the blends, you've got to be careful. But if you buy like McCormick, I believe they say it's the red caps that are all gluten-free. Basically, if you buy just basil or oregano, those base spices, they're all gluten-free naturally.
I did not know that. You taught me something that I did not know. So McCormick's on the red cap side, basically all gluten free. So
yeah,
those spices don't play wonky games with your system. Now, in layman's terms, and then we'll get back to the cookbook, what happens if you do eat gluten?
Well, the way I figured out that I had it was I was feeling really sick for a while, and my hair started falling out, and I just felt horrible all the time. I had headaches. Felt all like sluggish, and it turns out basically I was suffering from malnutrition, because what happens is your small intestines starts basically rejecting all food, because when you get that buildup and you get all these little scars on in your small intestine, and basically it starts rejecting everything, because that's what kind of separates your foods. And then that's how they figure it out. They do they do a blood test, I believe, first. It's been so long, I'm trying to remember. But then if that shows a positive, then they do take a scope and look inside your small intestines. And if you have all the little scarring, they know that you have celiac.
Okay. So when they stroke, and if you have this line from buildup previously, you have celiac disease.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I at a birthday party a couple months ago, and one of the guests had celiac disease, believe it or not, and she said to her daughter, "Don't eat the French fries." When they couldn't eat the birthday cake either, which wasn't gluten free, by the way. So why wouldn't people go after? Why did this mom freak out when her young daughter, who also has celiac disease, goes for French fry? What does that have? What does a typical French fry do to a person that has celiac disease? Do you know?
Well, it all depends if it's fried, probably because she didn't know how it was made. Like when you go to restaurants, like for instance McDonald's, their fries are safe because they have a dedicated fryer only for their French fries. So I love McDonald's French fries, and I can enjoy those without worrying. Whereas if you go to one of the fast foods or any restaurant that fries their French fries in the same fryer as, say chicken nuggets, anything with breading, the oil would have it in it. And then some fries are seasoned with seasonings that have gluten in them. So probably more so she was doing it because she didn't know how they were cooked, or if they had any kind of seasoning on them that might.
Yeah, because now I'm getting to the root of why she did it. Because, quite frankly, this is a bowling alley that we were at, and quite frankly, I think they use the same fryer to do chicken wings as they do the French fries. So, yeah, that explains a lot why McDonald's contains their French fries in one fryer and the rest of the world doesn't.
Right.
That explains a lot. And so, because French fries have salt on them, does salt naturally contain gluten, or do French fries put salt that is added gluten into it?
Salt does not contain gluten, and most of your French fries even the frozen ones, even the ones, like I get Alexia brand, Ore-Ida, those are fine, and they actually, I believe, say they're gluten-free on the bag. The ones you have to watch out for, I believe, are, I can't remember the brands, but like the ones that have the seasonings, I believe it's, Checkers. I think Checkers is one of them. Okay. They have seasonings on them that, and don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if that's the brand, because I only stick with Ore-Ida and Alexia because I know those are gluten free. Yeah. But there's quite a few out there that have these seasonings on them, and I believe the Red Robin brand in the freezer, I believe they don't say that it's gluten free. I'm not sure what exactly is in it, but if you go to the restaurant, they have gluten free.
That leads me to my next question. By the way, this is fascinating to me, Amanda. This is fascinating knowledge to me. Anyway, so can we, when a bag of French fries or a bag of potato chips say on the actual bag, gluten-free. Can we believe it?
Oh yeah, they have laws now. Used to they could put it on there, and I believe and it wasn't that strict. But now there's they have to go through certain testing to be certified gluten-free before they can put that on the packaging.
Okay, so we can believe it, because I would, like, okay, if someone's newly diagnosed with celiac disease, they're going to go hungry if they can't believe the bag of French fries or the bag of potato chips that they get at Whole Foods.
Right.
So there's laws. Good. I was just curious about that. So they're not sticking this is gluten-free if it's truly not gluten-free.
Right.
And then what made you all in all write the cookbook?
I'm sorry, what? I couldn't hear you. What was that last question?
What made you all in all write the cookbook? What made you drive yourself to write the cookbook?
Well, honestly, I had a big collection of recipes just handwritten in a book. And my husband has been trying to get me to write a cookbook for years. And he's become a really good at photography. And so we just bought a good camera and we started taking our own photographs. I have a degree in graphic design. So putting all that together, it kind of made sense to just do our own cookbook and self-publish it. And the cookbook is complete. Now I'm to the next step where I need to compile it, send it to a printer, make it get it in ebook format, and I'm actually going to do a Kickstarter to try to promote the book more, and also hopefully get basically Kickstarters where you get pre-orders for a product. So I'm going to try. Hopefully that will be successful, which I know it will be, because the universe has been smiling on me, and it seems like it's been pushing me to do this. So I really feel in my heart that it's going to be super successful, and it's going to help a lot of people, because it is confusing if you haven't, for the newcomers, just now finding out that they can't eat gluten, because there's a lot of diseases that they cut out gluten. It's not just celiac. There's a lot of, I think cancer patients have to follow a gluten-free diet. There's all kinds of diseases out there that's the first thing the doctors tell them to do, is to follow a gluten-free diet.
As I said at the top of the show, I know a ton of people on the autism spectrum, and the first thing they cut out is gluten.
Mhm.
So
yeah, it takes your body a long time to digest the gluten, this modified wheat that we eat today. Even people without celiac, it takes their bodies longer to digest that.
Now, that being said, could a person like you with cerebral palsy or any person with a physical disability, could they go gluten-free? I guess they could.
You can, but my husband's doctor, when he found out that I was gluten-free, actually told him it's not healthy for someone that doesn't need to cut it out completely out of their diet. It's okay to limit it, but you still need those grains. You need the grains. And so his doctor suggested he still consume some gluten to make sure that his body's not being deprived. But
so don't cut all of them out, but you can certainly limit it.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's why I asked. I thought, well, since people on the autism spectrum are doing a gluten-free diet, why can't I? So the average person can limit it, but it's not healthy to become gluten-free unless you really need to.
That's what his doctor told him. Yes, I think you
Okay.
need some of the grains that you would be missing, and that's one thing with people that follow the gluten-free diet is getting enough fiber. You got to make sure you get enough fiber.
Yeah,
that's
why. That's my next question. That is my next question. How do you get enough fiber? You yourself get enough fiber, and I'm sorry to get all graphic on you, my audience, but I need to ask these questions because I want to know the best way to now treat someone with celiac disease. I have people in my own life with celiac disease who, as I said, won't eat a typical birthday cake and won't eat typical French fries only because they don't know how it is cooked. But I want to not only educate you guys, but educate myself. So, Amanda, how are you getting enough fiber? Because you're cutting out the grains and you're making your lifestyle completely different. Are you eating more beans or what's the deal?
Yes, I eat a lot of beans and leafy green vegetables. I just eat a lot more vegetables with fiber in them.
Yes. Leafy green vegetables, beans, dates, prunes, all that good stuff. There's ways to get around lack of fiber, and there's ways to save your insides and make your insides very happy when you don't get enough grains or can't have grains because it's wheat.
Correct.
So there's ways to do it. But as Amanda said, do not cut gluten out completely unless you have to, and go see your doctor first and then ask your doctor, can I cut back on my gluten? Because we don't want anyone to get sicker than they already are, or sick if they don't have to. So that's why I'm educating you guys. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, and more importantly, if you have anyone in your family that has celiac, it's important for you to get tested because there's a 50% chance if you have a family member with celiac that you will have celiac. It's a very high chance. Like my son is just turning old enough to get tested. He's 7, and I believe they told us they have to wait until he's, I believe, 7 or 8 to test him. There's a very high chance that he could have it.
Okay. So how does one get tested if they have a family history? Because most doctors just like brain aneurysm. My mom died of a brain aneurysm, and so that's why I'm bringing the brain aneurysm aspect into it. When you walk into a doctor's office, most doctors are not going to test you for brain aneurysm nor celiac disease. So how do we, as the common public, say, look, I have a family history of celiac disease. Can you test me? Or how does one go about doing that?
I believe you just request a blood test and ask them to test you for celiac. Because honestly, I went to a walk-in clinic, and unbelievably, the female doctor that saw me must have had someone with celiac in her family, because that's amazing because so many people are misdiagnosed from their family doctors.
Oh my
It's amazing that she figured it out.
You went to a walk-in clinic and they figured that scary thing out.
Yeah, and this was many years ago before celiac and gluten-free and all of that, was highly publicized. It was I'd never even heard of it.
Oh, geez. You never even heard of your own hidden disability here. And so, okay, you ask for a blood test, and then you specifically say, I want to be tested for celiac disease because I have a family history.
Correct.
Okay, so you can just call your primary care doctor and say, or go into walking clinic, and if they are smart enough, like Amanda's walking clinic, they'll figure that out. I can't believe that, Amanda. That story baffles me.
I was very lucky because you could see how, I mean, I had a lot of symptoms, and I could see how if it was misdiagnosed, how it would just lead to more and more tests, more and more and this is what a lot of people go through. They're diagnosed with all these other things that it's not, and they don't get any better because they don't know to cut out the gluten, and that's the only cure for this is just to not eat gluten. There's no pills. There's nothing. It's just a gluten-free diet, and your small intestines will eventually heal, and as long as you continue to follow that, you should be fine.
Yeah, so it's amazing what they found. So, what would you say to the newly diagnosed celiac patient or the getting diagnosed celiac patient? If she or he experienced symptoms, you say, don't go on Google number one, and what do you say to them?
I would suggest definitely get tested if you have any doubt. Like if you just feel, like notice if you're eating bread and anything with wheat in it, anything, gravies, any kind of breaded food products, if you just start getting a headache shortly after and just feel kind of sluggish and just don't feel right, definitely it's worth getting tested. And if you are confirmed that you have celiac, thank God for the internet these days. There's so much information. There's celiac.org. There's so many celiac foundations with so much information. And luckily, a lot of the big brands now are catering to celiac disease. So when you go to the grocery store now, there's actually gluten-free sections in both the freezer aisle and the regular aisle. I mean, and then throughout the store, you can usually find a gluten-free version of almost everything, and it's getting more affordable. Used to, you had to go to Whole Foods or those, specialty stores, and one bag of groceries, is like $100. So it's just, and it's crazy, but it's starting to become more affordable, and there's much more available.
Okay, so you would say, do your research, get tested, and then go to Whole Foods and make your stomach happy.
Yeah, or you don't even have to go to Whole Foods any longer. I mean, Walmart has gluten-free sections now. All the grocery stores, yes, they do, and you will save so much money going to Walmart versus any other grocery store. You pay about $1 to $2 less for the exact same item in gluten-free.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Geez, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew that Walmart had a grocery store, but I didn't know that Walmart was kept and had gluten-free stuff.
It's a very small section, but they do have it. And then throughout all the store, like they don't put everything that's gluten-free in that one little section. They put like the actual gluten-free brands, like Udi's, Vans, all the like brands that are exclusively gluten-free are mostly in that section. And then some others, like they have soy sauce and stuff there, but for the most part, it's throughout the store. Like the canned vegetables, if you look at them now, most of them say they're gluten-free, even though that's naturally gluten-free. They say gluten-free to help people that don't know, what's gluten-free and what's not. Because when you first get diagnosis is, it's so overwhelming. You don't really know at first, and then you just learn throughout the years. And yeah, it's throughout the store. You'll see gluten-free on so many products now.
Well, that's good that you started getting tips to it. And where can the people find you, and where can people find your cookbook? I know that you said you're eventually starting a Kickstarter campaign for the cookbook, and where can the people pick up the cookbook and find you and all that good stuff?
I wish it was available now, but it's not. But our website, which will be up here in a few months, we're still in the building phase, but it's clockwisepublishing.com. There's an contact us button. I'm on Facebook, Clockwise Publishing, and there's a sign-up form on the Facebook page where you can sign up for our newsletter, and I will definitely be emailing everyone when the cookbook is out. The cookbook is called Practical Gluten Free, and it's the little subtitle is Everyday Recipes with a Gluten-Free Twist. And I'm on Twitter. I'm on Pinterest. You just look up Clockwise Publishing, and you can find us there. And definitely I will have it very publicized as soon as the book is out. I hope it to be early summer, but it's very near completion. And I just want it to make sure it's right and that I roll this out correctly. I don't want to rush it to get it out there.
No, because when you self-publish a book, you need to make sure every little T and every little I is dotted, and you need to put as much love in this book as you do your body.
Exactly.
And before I let Amanda go, I'm going to let her ask me 2 to 4 questions that she's wanting to ask me about anything.
What led you to doing podcasts?
What led me to doing podcasts? Well, I wrote books, I should say. I wrote my first book at age 23, and it's my autobiography, yes. As a 23-year-old, I now have autobiography. Well, since then, as a 30-year-old, I now have an autobiography, and I'm working on my second autobiography as we speak, Amanda. So what led me to do podcasts is not only did the book hit number 1, the book shot to number 1, but people started asking me, how do you do all this with cerebral palsy, which is a chronic disability? And so I thought, well, if I get on this podcast in like one more time and explain I have cerebral palsy, people are going to tune me out, really. So I thought, why not bring rock stars like you on this journey with me and infuse education about celiac disease with cerebral palsy. So it's not always a cerebral palsy show.
That's amazing. I'm amazed that you already have several books. That's really impressive.
Yep.
Did you self-publish or did you go through a publisher?
I self-published all of them.
That's amazing. And that's very impressive. It went to number 1. I really hope that I follow in your footsteps, and my book is so helpful that people are just excited to buy it and excited to tell others that they have to have this cookbook.
Well, this podcast would help that cookbook go to number 1, because this podcast has had New York Times bestselling authors on it. This podcast has had every average stage shows on it. So my fan base decides to listen to this podcast. I've actually had over 30,000 downloads of this podcast.
Awesome.
So your book will go to number 1. We're putting it out to the universe on this podcast right now that your cookbook will go to number 1, and it will be beautifully done, and you get enough backing in the Kickstarter campaign. Yes. So,
Yeah.
Amanda, we just want to wish you the best. And do you have any more questions for me?
I don't, but I want to thank you so much for having me on your show. I feel very honored to be part of your
are welcome.
journey. And I do believe in positive thoughts. I am very happy that the universe put us together. That everything happens for a reason, and I hope your success just continues.
Everything does happen for a reason. And Amanda, give me the Kickstarter link when you have it, and I'll stick it in another show notes, and I'll even put update on Amanda so people know what the update is for.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I will definitely, once my book is out, I will definitely follow up with you, and I want to send you a signed copy for gratitude.
That would be lovely, and we can even have you back on this podcast to talk about the cookbook and the self-publishing process, and hopefully educate more people about celiac disease.
Okay, I look forward to that.
And I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode of Butterflies of Wisdom. This episode has been sponsored by Grace by Grit. Grace by Grit is a clothing line out in California, and this podcast is also generously sponsored by Go Twitter, K-I-T-T-E, or Amanda mentioned that she's on Twitter. What Twitter does is they compose tweets for you, or you can compose them on your own, and then they put the hashtag like Gruesome3, hashtag Gruesome3, for example. And so, unfortunately, you guys, they all know me on desktop right now, but as soon as the mobile app comes out, I will keep you guys updated on that, and I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. Thanks to you guys.